Hey everybody, welcome back to week 11. We are getting dangerously close to the end of the semester. So we're going to take a quick look at what's happening now in ENC 1101. Hopefully, many of you saw the announcement last week where I asked you to participate in the college-wide assessment for um, this particular course. If you did miss that, notice that it is still at the top right now of the announcements. It'll be second here in a minute, but if you want to go in there, it has all the information that you need in the announcement, and it's got an assessment that you will complete. I haven't looked to see how many people have completed it, and I'm in student mode now, so I wouldn't be able to, but if you have not done that, would you please do that for me? And it's really for the English department as a whole. Every year we have an assessment project, and this is this year's. So if you will participate in that, you will get some extra credit. So thank you in advance for doing that. Um, as I mentioned, we are in week 11. So this is the launch, the real launch of the Learner's Choice paper. We talked a little bit about it last week, but I'll go over that assignment in more detail this week. And then, as you have been doing in the past, this week you're going to do that kind of pre-writing quiz. So it'll be very similar, something you're already used to doing. So should not be too terribly difficult. So let's go ahead and look at the week's resources. The learning materials are not new. These are all things that we have had previously, but it does have the full paper assignment as well as a sample paper. Otherwise, you have seen all this material. Well, you've seen that material before too, but let's go over the assignment requirements and I'll show you this a little bit about the sample paper. So in the learner's choice paper, we are going to be looking at essentially a cause and effect / argument type of writing mode. And specifically, we're going to be exploring benefits of certain practices that one might undertake. So, write a research paper that explores the cause-effect relationship and presents a persuasive argument on the benefits of one of the following topics. You can do mindfulness, growth mindset, healthy diet, active lifestyle, yoga practice, time management, or recycling. Now, within those, if you wanted to hone in on something even more specific, you are welcome to do that. Namely, the healthy diet and active lifestyle. I could see getting very much more specific on that. So, for example, if you wanted to explore a particular style of diet, one that I kind of try to adhere to is the Mediterranean diet. Of course, there's keto and paleo and Whole30 and all those. A vegan diet, of course, or a vegetarian diet could be another way that you hone in. Healthy diet in itself is probably a little too general. So you'll probably need to hone in on something very specific there. And the same thing could be said of active lifestyle or even a yoga practice. So maybe you're not into yoga, but you're into Pilates, or you're into maybe you're a member of the cult. We call it a cult that I belong to, because I go to the gym called Orange Theory, and it is a very specific type of workout. There are, of course, others. I know what's the one I've seen lately? F45 has a very specific system. There are some of those gyms that do the step classes, the boxing gyms, which I find fascinating. Uh, the there's different anyway, there's different very specific kinds of exercise programs that you might focus on rather than just an active lifestyle in general or a yoga practice in general. So keep that in mind. You can definitely hone in on something a little bit more specific. Even with something like time management, you could focus on a particular system of time management. That's entirely up to you. So the paper itself, though, the essay itself will be about 1,000 words, as we've been doing. It is cause and effect and argument sort of combined, and you do need to have at least 3 credible sources that you are using throughout the paper, as well as citing using MLA, of course. And then, of course, I've got a little bit more information about the different kinds, or the different topics. And then, of course, the requirements of the paper. You must have a thesis statement. You must have that cause and effect analysis, argument, credible resources, and of course, MLA format, which we have been doing all along. The pre-writing is due this week. Next week, you're going to turn in a draft to me and to be peer reviewed, and you will conduct some peer reviews yourself. That will take place in week 13. And then the final version of this paper will be submitted in week 14. As usual, of course, you can look at the criteria for grading. It's the evaluation criteria here. Those should be very familiar to you by now. And then, as I mentioned, the other thing that is in the module for you is a sample paper that you can look at. Oh, I wonder if this is because I'm in student view. Let's double check. Yeah, okay, it works. So the sample paper is about yoga, but it's a good example of kind of the sort of thing that you want to do. It's got resources that are some from the library, and a couple that are web-based, but most of the research is more of the academic variety, which I highly encourage you, if you have not already really started using the library when you're doing your research, take some time to try to do that. In the long run, especially the higher you go in college, the less likely you're going to be able to just write papers using websites. So it's a good practice to get used to. And it's not hard, okay? It is not hard to use the library. If you can type things into a Google search, you can type things into a library search. And if you need help with it, of course, reach out to me, reach out to the library, and we'll be happy to give you some extra assistance and support in that. So, as I said, the only thing due this week is the pre-writing. You can get started on the draft, of course, which you'll turn in next week for both me and for a peer review. But your only official assignment this week is the pre-writing, and it's set up much like all the pre-writings have been, in quiz format. Make sure you just answer all the questions and you will be good to go. You may also notice, oh, I'm out of student view. Let me double check. Let me turn this back on so you guys will see. The additional modules have been published. So you've got week 11, 12, and 13. 14 and 15 are still to come, but you've got a lot of, it's almost all there. And then, of course, this was the feedback module, that bonus module, and it is also available in addition to being on in the announcements. It's available here on the modules page as well. I can talk some days. So anyway, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you next week. And in the meantime, through feedback and various sundry things. So everybody take care and have a great week.